Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Crystal Lee, the creator of the Crystal Lee's Chance channel, and welcome. If you are new to this channel, let me break it down for you in 3 easy days. Monday, we do Moody Monday, where I post a video literally about anything, and you never know what video you're going to get on a Monday, but it'll always be a mood, and you'll always get a video. On Wednesdays, we do What We Reading Wednesdays. Hi, welcome to What We Reading Wednesdays, when we talk about books out the ass, what we like, what we don't like, what we want to read, or what we're currently working on, which is our own personal curriculum. So if you want to see what I'm reading and then join in on the read or just listen to what I've learned, that's on Wednesdays. And on Fridays, we do Van Life Fridays, where I vlog my alternative lifestyle living in a van. My 91 Chevrolet G20 van. Then, if any of that seems like your cup of tea or your shot of whiskey, please hit the subscribe button and join the community. I really want to grow us to a big fat community of people getting back to playing in their life. I want this channel to be a source of peace and playfulness. And if you want to join that, hit the subscribe button and see me almost every day of the week. Almost every day. Especially 3 days. Like I said, 3 days. 3 days of the week. 3 days. For every one book I finish, I add 5 more to my TBR. There's just so many good books to read. With that being said, today's video is a What We're Reading Wednesday video. Hello, hi. But also it's talking about books that have reminded me of certain shows or movies that I really loved. And I want to give suggestions on what to watch if you like a certain read, or what to read if you like a certain watch, and vice versa. But what I'm naming it is, if you read this and liked it, watch this, which is definitely opposite of if you watch this then read this. I love reading. I love creating the environment in my head and the scene in my head with the words on the page, but it's also really nice for someone to do it for you. You can't always get as much detail in a show or movie than you can from the books, but sometimes you just don't want to do the work for yourself, and it's really nice to see a scene of something that you read before, and it's just really cool. And so I wanted to share that with you today. Kicking off the list with Masters of Death by Olivia Blake. I read this, I think, last year, at the beginning of this year. I'm just going to start with my review. So a vampire, a ghost, a demon, an angel, a reaper, a demigod, and the godson of death walk into a mansion. It is a literally group of ragtag characters with pasts that are good and bad, some wrongdoings, some great deeds, some heartbreaking beginnings and endings, all coming together to play this game against death. It's when you sit and you wager something from your life against other characters. No human can play simply because they all have too much to lose, or it's easy to play with a human because of all they have to lose. If you are a supernatural person, it has to be very specific, something for you to lose or gamble, and it's just you're gambling your desires. You're gambling the human aspect of yourself, essentially, as a supernatural being. So all of these characters are running around trying to get something that they desire out of the game, because if you win the game against all supernatural beings, if you're able to like lie and wager, it's basically gambling but with your desires. If you're able to win, you get like power to do whatever you want. You get the power of whatever death has. And I like that Olivia Blake brought in so many supernatural characters that they had to like work together for something, because every supernatural character all have different backgrounds and different desires and different powers. Like all of them together, that's crazy. I love a ragtag team of people, and the fact that they're all supernatural is really nice. My suggestion, if you like books with ragtag teams of people who truly don't get along and do not belong in a team, and mixed with the supernatural, I suggest watching the show Lucifer. Lucifer himself comes to Earth, more important, LA, attempts to have a human experience and run away from his responsibilities. In that show, you're dealing with angels, you're dealing with the devil, demons, vampires. You deal with Abel and Cain. You deal literally with God when he finally makes his show. You deal with the mother, or sorry, the wife of God. You deal with the demons. I don't know if I said that. Any supernatural character you can think of, you deal with. But in addition to that, Lucifer, he comes onto Earth to have a human experience, and he ends up helping the FBI solve crimes. And through helping solve crimes, he finds a bit of humanity in himself, which is very much like gambling the piece of humanity that you have as a supernatural character in the book Masters of Death. So if any of that seems really enticing to you, I would either read the book, Masters of Death or watched the show Lucifer. I enjoyed both very, very much, and I hope you do too. Coming in number 2 on the list is The Wedding People by Emily Henry. The Wedding People by Alison Ipach. Sorry, girl. Is about our main character, Phoebe, who goes to this very expensive inn for like one last night of like happy-go-lucky stuff. And we don't know how it happened, but she happened to be the only person at that extravagant inn that isn't there for a wedding happening that same weekend. She ends up running into the bride to be, and they become friends, and the bride brings her along to engage with her family and friends and to be a part of the wedding. And we get crazy plot lines from there, learning everybody's reason for either wanting the wedding or not wanting the wedding. And we learn about people and why they choose to get married, and if it's love or if it's just someone else's desire or if it's just seems right in the moment but doesn't feel right. I like this book so much, and it reminded me of the movie The Last Holiday with Queen Latifah. Queen Latifah's character is diagnosed with cancer and is told that her end of days are only days away. So she takes all the money that she's been saving up over the years out of her bank account. Any trust or anything that she has, she cashes them all out. She goes to Sweden, question mark. She goes to Europe. She goes to Europe and she books a whole bunch of extravagant and adventurous things for herself to enjoy during her last days. And she meets some people who she helps to change their perspective on how to look at life, because before her diagnosis, she was someone who was very cautious in life, didn't draw outside the lines, played by the rules. And when she got the diagnosis, she felt that she just didn't give herself everything that she should have given herself, and she played it too cautiously, and she really just wanted her last days to be that of excitement and limitlessness. And that is what our character Phoebe also finds in her time with the wedding people. She reflects on her choices in life and how it could have been a little bit better, what to do going forward, and how to really reconcile with some things that didn't work out the way that she wanted it to. Again, through the lives and just being around all these people in a wedding that no one wants. So if you like The Wedding People, watch Last Holiday. If you like Last Holiday, read The Wedding People. So good. The next one on my list, number 3, you probably heard it before. It's the book Funny Story by Emily Henry. It's about 2 characters who went through really bad and abrupt breakups who end up living together because the female main character's ex-fiance ended up confessing his feelings to the male main character's girlfriend, and the ex-fiance and the ex-girlfriend have been friends for years, and they just now realize after other people are involved that they love each other. So we're dealing with Miles, our male main character, and Daphne, our female main character, and them getting through this breakup, but also living together because Miles was Daphne's last option of places to move because she can't live with her ex-fiance and Miles' ex-girlfriend. And through that, obviously, they fall in love. But the story that Emily Henry takes us on to the end of them falling in love is a beautiful one. And Miles a lot is compared to the character of Nick Miller in New Girl, which makes my suggestion that if you really liked Funny Story, you'll really like the show New Girl. And if you really liked New Girl, you'll love the book. You'll love the book Funny Story. New Girl is about our female main character, Jess, who is broken up with her boyfriend and finds a vacant room in an apartment with 3 men. These 3 men end up being her best friends, and through some amount of seasons that I do not remember, they have immaculate character development, and it's a beautiful show. I wish I could watch it for the first time all over again. But Miles definitely is Nick Miller. Nick Miller is Miles, and Jess sort of kind of is Daphne, if not a more whimsical Daphne. Daphne is very much play it straight kind of gal. So her and Jess aren't alike, but if you liked the character of Nick Miller, you'll love Miles. If you love Miles, you like Nick Miller. Nick Miller and Jess's character and the way they fall in love is a beautiful story. It's a very annoying slow burn, but it's still a beautiful story. In addition to a whole bunch of people in their 30s trying to get their life together when we think that our life together should be in their 20s is such a fucking mood. And it's really nice to read through it or watch through it because we all just want to feel like we have grown up or made it somewhere, and we all want to fall in love, but love hurts. And so we go through that whole journey with Miles and Daphne and with Nick and Jess and the character and the other characters in the show. But people love the Nick and Jess storyline, so I'm bringing that up more importantly because it's like the Daphne and Miles storyline. Either way, you'll love the characters. You'll love the additional characters. You'll love all of the characters in the book and in the show. So if you're into that, I would either read that or watch this, or read this and watch that. Fourth on the list is Curvy Girl Summer by Danielle Allen. If you read this book and you loved it, please let me know below. It was one of my first books where the female main character was a Black curvy woman. And even though some parts of the book are negatively talked about, it was a thick woman who was Black finding love, and I've never felt so connected with that character in that way, because I've always been reading like female main characters who are white and I'm just like, I can't relate, or who are skinny and I just cannot relate. And so Curvy Girl Summer has been one of my favorite reads. Our female main character, Aaliyah, is turning 30 and she wants to bring in her 30s with love. So she puts a goal out for herself to go on dates until her 30th birthday, to have a date for her 30th birthday. And she has these dates at one bar across from her apartment each time, and she runs into our male main character, Ahmad. And through her having dates at the bar and Ahmad giving her some advice on how to date, and also just learning her through her dating other people and them getting closer, like obviously they fall in love. Obviously fall in love. Danielle Allen is an amazing writer, and I love the way the story was told. I like how it brings up mental health for both of them, where mental health is such a taboo topic in general, but more importantly within the Black community. And if you add insecurities because you're a thicker woman, if you add family trauma and grief to that, it's a lot wrapped into one story, and I enjoyed it down. And whenever I read it, I definitely thought of the show Survival of the Thickest, but also in the book description, it says Bridget Jones's Diary meets Survival of the Thickest in Danielle Allen's Curvy Girl Summer. So if you don't know what Survival of the Thickest is, it is a show created by Michelle Buteau. She is the main character. Pilot opens up with her going through some relationship troubles and being a little bit questionable in her career and what she's capable of as a stylist. So fashion guru and stylist, going through relationship trouble, trying to find herself, being insecure about her body. We already know that the fashion world is getting better when it comes to bigger bodies. This brings to light that aspect of the fashion world, but also it brings in her life being is she a 40-year-old in there? I'm not sure what her age is, but I think it's 30 and up. But it also brings into question how we feel in our 30s and our career path, which I truly love, because I truly think that everyone was under the impression that the 20s is where you thrive, but it's really 30s. And if we look back on all of the sitcoms of like Friends and Living Color and New Girl, they're all in their 30s still trying to figure it out. So I need us to remember that, okay? Michelle Buteau's character from Survival of the Thickest is a stylist going through all these changes and trying to find herself. Her group of friends are amazing. We get their storyline as well and how they come into their own. But it definitely reminded me of Curvy Girl Summer, because also is trying to figure out who she is in and out of relationships, how she is with her body. And so if you loved Curvy Girl Summer, watch Survival of the Thickest. If you loved Survival of the Thickest, read Curvy Girl Summer. Y'all, this was such a quick video, but we're on our last suggestion, because I wanted to keep it cute and to the point, because I want to give you more time to read and watch, you know? So last on our list is something that I can never stop thinking about, which is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Austin. The 7-Year Slip is a magical realism romance book with our female main character, Clementine, and our male main character, some contra slanging man candy name. What is his name? His name was Ewan, or Iwan. 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 Ewan? Ew. His name is Ewan. Clementine inherits her aunt's old home, but going in and out of the house, Clementine is either pushed into the past or just stays in the present. There's no future. So sometimes the door to the apartment is a portal to the past where Clementine meets Ewan. Iwan. I'd never said his name out loud till today. I will tell you that right now. And they are getting to know each other. She's falling in love. So we are ebbing between the past and the present with some grief that Clementine is going through and falling in love with a man that's really very much out of time and in time. And I'll tell you this, only Iwan, I'm going with Iwan, only Iwan knows what's happened because he's already experienced the past. Clementine is experiencing all this for the first time. And so it's a lot to like keep track of, but it's still a beautiful story told by Ashley Poston about grief and falling in love and how it can mirror each other, about putting yourself out there and being hurt all over again. Also about really being confident in who you are and in your career that you chose. With the 7-year slip, I suggested watching the movie The Lake House starring Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves. Both of them are living at a lake house. They are sending correspondence to each other by mail. They live 10 years apart. Is it 10 years? I think just saying things. Hold on. Okay. It's 2 years. I'm so dramatic. Their characters live 2 years apart. For example, I think he lives in like 2006 and she lives in 2008, but they're able to correspond with each other. And it's such a beautiful movie of being present and letting things just be, because forcing something can have severe ramifications. And we see Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock's character go through that. Kind of the same thing as Iwan and Clementine. One of them has already experienced the past, and one of them is now just experiencing what the other person experienced. And there are warnings, there are stops and don't do that, but there's love. And we figure out how these two can be together, even with being literally 2 years apart. And that's the same thing with Iwan and Clementine. The Lake House came out in 2006, so I definitely saw it way before Oh, hello. Hi. Oh, okay. My bad. Okay, you didn't want to be here. That's fine. So cute. Hello. Hey, do you want to be here or not? So when I read 7-year slip, I knew Lake House was like right at the front of my brain. Because I love timey-wimey stuff. I love a good love story through time. And the 7-year slip and the Lake House gave me that in visual and in a book. So if you like that kind of stuff, I suggest reading that or watching this or reading this and watching that. And that's it. I've been really excited to do this video because I love media in all forms. And when I can just give some kind of a callback to something I've read or watched before, it feels kind of good, and I can harness and grab more detail. I can harness like more detail from the story, whether I'm watching it or reading it, because I've kind of experienced it before, which is really nice. So if you like media of all kinds, but certain tropes and certain plot lines within each of them, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have watched or read anything that I talked about today, please let me know in the comments down below. Let's talk about it. I love you. I am grateful for you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.